The comfort of your favorite seat is now your comfy car selling command center, thanks to Carvana.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Your favorite seat's the best spot in the house. Make it even better by entering your license plate or VIN and getting a real offer in minutes.
There really is no place like home.
And speaking of home, Carvana will pick up your car from yours after you finalize your offer. Visit Carvana.com or download the app and sell your car from your comfy place.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
This episode of Alien Theorist Theorizing is sponsored by Amazon Prime Video's The Expanse, Season 4. Now streaming.
Earth is a lucky place. Set in the medium range from the stars so that carbon-based life can flourish, a large enough satellite, the moon, to deflect incoming meteors, and a stable magnetic field to ward off the worst of cosmic radiation. Despite all that, there have been several massive extinction events that we know of, which have nearly wiped out all life on our little blue space marble. What if the next Texas-sized chunk of rock sailing through our solar system has our name on it? Look into science fiction, we find that the threat of total human extinction has been mitigated due to the fact that our society has taken the leap to settle out among the other planets and moons in our cosmic neighborhood. Cities on a red Mars turn green, hollowed out asteroids where we mine for ice, and Jovian moons turned to farming worlds. How far are we from turning science fiction scenarios into reality? What challenges face our civilization as we take our first steps towards becoming an interplanetary empire? What technology will we use to reach out and place our legacy among the stars? Join the theorists as they power up their EDM drive and try to find the best place for an interplanetary rave in Solar System Expansion.
Welcome to Alien Theorizing, Case File 126, Solar System Expansion. I'm Zell.
I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
And I feel dirty.
Welcome to the show.
It came to me. I was like, "Oh, I thought we changed it up for tonight."
I went with my original muscle memory on the live stream switches.
I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
solar system expansion.
woo!
How we are going to spread our dirty little civilization across the solar system."
Why would we leave? Where are we gonna go? How are we gonna get there? How are we gonna survive? Is it even fucking possible? That's what we're talking about tonight. Oh, what's going on, everybody? Braden, you in Vancouver still?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver for another week. As you can see by this isn't a lovely backdrop or green screen. This is a nice hotel backdrop of the Executive Plaza.
You didn't do
5-star?
Like 3.5 maybe.
3.5?
No, it's a nice wallpaper.
It's nice.
I think it looks good. So it's been fun.
You can barely see the semen stains.
No, you can't.
No glowing lights.
Yeah. Oh, it's
How long you been there? You been there, what,
Don't
like a week?
touch anything.
an entire week.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's probably all yours anyways. Who cares?
You're not wrong.
Oh shit.
Why don't we get right into it? Why would we want to leave Earth?
Why
Ever.
wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? Get the fuck off this rock.
There's too many people that we don't like. No, I remember reading a book by Robert Heinlein. I think it was like Time Enough for Love or something. Robert Heinlein, the same guy who wrote Starship Troopers. And in the book, it said a planet is getting too crowded when people need photo IDs. When you need identification to go anywhere, that's when a planet is too crowded. That's always stuck with me. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
That's been a while then.
I know.
Yeah. We're getting crazy then because I have to have 2 pieces now.
Dude, they make you give 2 pieces to buy liquor now. I'm like, I'm fucking 31. 2 pieces? I was making fake IDs on ski passes when I was 17.
Because you're a vampire and you look so young. You're eternally youthful. So
Do vampires grow colored facial hair? I got a little color on there.
Well, it depends. Where did you have facial hair before you were bitten and got turned into a vampire?
I got facial hair young, so
Probably then.
probably.
I don't know. If I ever get carded, I just point at my hairline. I'm like, how many fucking 19-year-olds you see with this hairline, man? Come on.
19-year-old.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, not a lot
No.
choose to shave the head at 19.
No, unless they're cool.
Yeah. But hairlines aside,
How else? Why else would we get off this
how-
fucking planet?
why else would we want to leave? Looking for better planets that produce better hairlines is so that's one. I always like to think that it's only a matter of time. Like we have to leave Earth to keep the species going because it doesn't matter how long if we climate, any of that stuff,
Just a matter of time.
overpopulation, scarcity of resources. It's only a matter of time because somewhere out there in the void of space, there's a giant fucking rock with our name on it. And
Hurling.
it's coming. We don't know where it is yet, but one day, sure enough, it's going to smack into Earth. And if we're still here and we're not anywhere else, we're done. So I think getting colonies up on other planets is, it's the next step for us. I mean, we're already planning it with missions to Mars and colonies on Mars with SpaceX.
Yeah.
in
It was pretty much, I think, what was it?
2030.
It was Carl Sagan who said, that in order for humanity to survive, we'll have to eventually leave the planet. Whether it be from asteroid impact, like super volcano, some nuclear war, even causing a nuclear winter, rendering most of the planet unable to grow food, causing massive starvation.
In the expanse they left because of overpopulation and climate, right? That's why they start going.
I think that was the original thing. Overpopulation, rapid shift in climate led to pretty much that we've fucked this planet up. And
I mean,
Which
that's-
sounds about
that's-
accurate.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're fucking well on course for that.
That's always been kind of an impetus for solar system settlement. We've always been worried about ever since humanity has kind of evolved past the point where we use more resources than we actually, give back. For a while, we've been just burning through everything that we can get our hands on. And once it gets to a point where those resources are dwindling and we're not able to, sustain a healthy population growth, we'll have to move off the planet at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
it only makes sense considering us as a people. It's only been 20,000 years since we've actually settled in the same spot and not been nomadic. You know what I mean? That's how our race has survived. And now with our technology, it kind of just makes sense that it's going to be, you know what I mean? A interplanetary, you know what I mean? Movement now, as opposed to, you know what I mean? Moving.
it feels like every person, especially if you listen to the show, you look up into the stars and you're like, God damn, would love to go up there. You just have that innate, that everyone has that thought of if we could only get, out.
I'm pretty fucking content. I'm good.
Well, except for Andrew represents a small population
I'm
who
good.
has no interest in
Zero.
camping, space watching, danger, Bigfoot, anything.
None of that. I'm good.
Well, it's not like getting out into space is going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's like not getting to another planet or building a space like a space station colony is an enormous undertaking. And I don't think at this moment it's still like science fiction. It's still kind of something that you can't. I don't think a lot of people can really fathom. Sure, you can like come up with ideas and things like this, but the actual like concepts and everything that goes into building those things is really hard for people to wrap their minds around.
Well,
Right.
For me, honestly, like I it's not even the fucking going to space. You know what I mean? It's getting there. It's being somewhere. Like I have a hard time being in a plane and going to fucking Mexico. I'm going crazy. I can't handle that shit. Being in a fucking spaceship for 8 months just to get to fucking Mars? Like not a chance, man. I go crazy.
Not for Andrew.
No.
He can't even hang out in his hostel-sized room in Vancouver.
No, God no. I'm fucking crawling out the windows. I can't handle that shit.
All right. So besides, like, we got nuclear winter, some type of like interstellar collision.
Ooh, what about disease? Like, you know, I don't know,
like
coronavirus.
Coronavirus, very
Shit.
popular topic right now.
Right?
It's taken over the planet. If you would read some of the headlines.
All right.
The Kung flu.
I'm only gonna bring this up just because we quickly talked about this, and Mr. Conspiracy messaged me out of the blue. And hold on, let me pull up his text here. And he goes, "This is great." He goes, "New case file for you."
Yes. ...
Sorry, wait. And he goes, "I believe the whole coronavirus was made up. It's a tactical way to get everyone back to their own country for the start of World War III."
I had not heard that one.
That's
And I
because he
went-
probably came up with
I
that.
messaged him and I said, "What?" And then he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "But why is everyone going back to their own country?" He's like, "Because of the coronavirus." And I'm like, "What? What does that have to do with World War III?" And he goes, "Well, because everyone's going to be back in their home country." I was like, "So as soon as everyone's back in their home country, the
when you
bell just
start?
rings, ding, 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 ding."
Let's roll. Then everyone launches nukes, and it doesn't matter where you are.
And then
New
he's like,
Zealand. You got to know New Zealand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think New Zealand
New
and
Zealand?
like Newfoundland, Canada are like two places they think would be minimally
Best
affected.
chance of survival.
Yeah, minimally affected by nuclear fallout.
Definitely rather be
It's,
in
Lord of
New
the
Zealand.
Rings. Here I come.
New
And then
Zealand's
he's-
better.
Way better.
I grilled him. I was like, "So, like, which countries are going to be involved?" And he goes, "I don't know, man. Everyone's focused on this fake virus. What better time?" And I'm like, "For what? What are we talking
What
about
better
here? What better time?" That's like a new shirt. It's just going to say World War III. What better time?
Oh, well, we'll keep our ears to the coronavirus story, and if it continues to progress in wild theories like this, we'll have to
Well,
go,
one of
go
the
down
cases,
some avenues.
one of the cases in Canada that came into Toronto ended up just being a fucking hangover. Can you believe that?
and they diagnosed it coronavirus.
No, they fucking tested her because she came in because she thought she had the coronavirus and she just had a hangover.
Well, you still have a lot of alcohol in your system.
Yeah, Jesus.
All right, so in the solar expansion, where's our first stop? Where do you guys think, like, obviously...
Well, there's the obvious ones. There's, if you're going to leave Earth to colonize, there's obviously the closest would be the moon. However, it doesn't really seem to have any readily available resources or any like magnetosphere. It's like directed line of radiation. It doesn't seem like a good place.
Right.
It'd be a good place to have like they're planning on have like a launch pad off the moon for other expansion, but it doesn't seem like a place humans will want to live in mass.
That makes a lot of sense to have some sort of moon base for launching because it takes so much resources to launch rockets and stuff from Earth because of our gravity. So launching stuff from space or the moon where there's, much less gravity would be ideal because it would take so much less energy and resources to get these things off the ground and going.
Right. And, some people are already mentioning the lack of gravity and things like that. But in some ways, the lack of gravity is actually an advantage because if you're going to do heavy construction or if you're going to test certain, manufactured materials or machines or things like that have to function in those kinds of environments, like moon's a perfect place to do it. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a good starting point, and I know at least NASA's already said they kind of they got their eyes on building the Gateway, which would be kind of like a permanent space station settlement around the moon that would function as their kind of like, the starting off point to slingshot people over to Mars. Because I think also the moon would be a good way, to use inertial, like you'd be able to use that inertial slingshot.
Yeah.
And then shoot them off into wherever they want to go.
Yeah, the Gateway is like proposed to be like the halfway point between Earth and the moon, and it's going to stay there in like geocentric orbit. Is that what you call it? Where it never moves. It's always between the Earth and the moon, following it around.
Yeah.
So that'd be the first step. Second step, like base on the moon, set up some type of like 3D printing factory, or because they say what's that rare? They say it's like helium-3 could be a viable. It's like some isotope of helium that only found on the moon because it doesn't have a magnetosphere, so it doesn't get rejected back into space. I remember reading something like that. So like some type of, say you set up a base on the moon, and that's your launch pad to get to the rest of the solar system. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think one of the other ideas was to build like domed settlements. It would be a lot easier to build that on the moon. Like it has huge craters, so you just basically build a roof over the craters, and then you can construct inside that dome itself.
Like the crater acts as the natural foundation. And you just drop a lid on it.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, and like, you could, I guess, in the southern hemisphere too. They're like they think there might be ice in some of the craters.
Yeah.
And then if you think about those like north and south poles, you could have solar factories that are like basically never without sun. So if we get really efficient working that, you have energy production like 24/7, like crazy with crazy output. And if you have ice, you can melt it and make water, right? So it's like there is some viable uses, viable stuff on the moon that we could use.
Yeah, I don't think not for like mass population, like to grow food and stuff. But yeah, as like a
forward operating base.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So then
after the moon, what's next?
Fucking Mars, baby. The red planet.
The popular choice.
The number one choice, it seems, right now. Now
it's the belle of the ball right now.
If you've seen The Martian, you can grow shit on there. You just got poop in the soil, and
I think it's a little more than that, but yeah.
Dude, Mars would be crazy too, because I have so many questions about colonizing Mars. Because one, it's like I have this instantly in my head. I have this vision of like, well, it's funny. I think Total Recall. Like my vision of Mars is 1980s Total Recall.
100%.
Like
the best,
mutants
the best
everywhere,
vision.
all these windows, and I'm like, and then I never realized when I started looking into Mars for the like last case file and this one, I was like, man, you know why there was mutants? It's because they had windows, and that radiation was just blasting in, man, just radiating everyone.
Yeah,
like
Mars. Yeah, Mars has no intrinsic, global magnetosphere. There's nothing to really like. Earth has its own magnetosphere, which basically keeps out all the radiation. But any other planet in the solar system, pretty much, like Mars, almost has one that's non-existent.
Yeah.
Like its thin little atmosphere that it does have provides some protection, but not a lot.
I mean, you would probably I think you'd have maybe more cancer than mutations, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mars, you'd have to obviously be wearing a shielded, insulated suit at all times if you're outdoors, and your buildings would have to be heavily shielded against the radiation of the sun.
Yeah, I think the big concept is for them to build like shelters within shelters. Like I know we talked about it in the last cast file, but at least like you could have robots or something like that would 3D print kind of structures made out of the Martian regolith, or what that's what the Martian rock is called. And then you would build your shelters inside those so that material would block out a lot of the radiation, but you'd still be just tons of it just pouring in all the time.
Well, and then it's like, how sustainable is that? Because let's say you're being continuously pelted with radiation. How are you going to reproduce? Right? Like
you're still in there.
Yeah, but radiation still radiation itself is just going to absolutely render you fucking infertile.
Yeah, but I'd probably definitely agree. But
lead
do they
underwear.
know the like long-term effects on people in space? Because if you look at astronauts on the ISS, if you believe it's up there, they are still in the protection of the magnetosphere, so they're not really getting that full pelted radiation. So when they test them after they come down, they're like, they probably do get more exposure than on the ground, but you're not really testing like direct, uninsulated, like cosmic radiation.
It's just gonna have a bunch of Hulk babies.
Everyone just gets ripped.
I mean,
Everybody
maybe you
gets
could.
Fantastic Four powers.
Maybe that's
Like,
part of it
this-
before we go is just freezing a shit ton of sperm. But then it's like, how does, you know what I mean? How does that work as far as gestation goes, right? Like, how is it? I don't really know. There
Yeah.
hasn't been long-term studies with fucking radiation and pregnancy, but I'm sure it can't be fucking good.
Or pregnancy, like even forget the radiation. Say we solve that. Even pregnancy in like low gravity.
Right.
I mean, it would
Right?
probably
If there's
be a little bit more
complications to
difficult
that, or
but-
embryonic development, anything like that. Secondly, like the first generation of humans that are there, like the initials, are gonna be the stuff of legend, man. Legend. You mean hurling
Legendary.
boulders over your head?
You could
jumping
literally
10
be the
feet.
first Martian. You could, or maybe the
You'd be the first John
first
Carter
human
of Mars.
Martian. If there's
Smashing
already
shit.
Martians there.
Martian Hercules, buddy.
You know
Fuck
what?
yeah.
Maybe I will go to Mars. Maybe I will sign up.
Oh,
That
look
sounds
at that.
pretty fucking rad.
That's the easiest conversion we've ever had on Andrew.
I'd be in this fucking shit for 8 months, just pumping iron, getting fucking jacked.
Just
when
got
I
to
get
promise
there.
promise Andrew he's going to become a Super Saiyan, and he's in.
The problem is the second you get there,
You're
you
fucked.
start losing it all because you're much like there's just not enough gravity. You'd have to train in Vegeta style in a hyperbolic.
No,
chamber.
man, buddy. All you got to do is be like Piccolo and wear your weighted clothes. Good, no problem. No
Just a
problem.
weighted clothes.
We're in
Yeah.
I
thousands
don't
of
know
pounds.
if that's. Do you think that would work? If you wait,
Works
if
for
you
fucking
like
Piccolo.
okay,
Every time Piccolo takes off his weighted clothes, his power level goes up. and
Yeah,
he's
but is
badass.
Piccolo living in a spaceship for 8 months with no gravity?
Fucking Goku did that, and he trained in his fucking anti-gravity device and got jacked as hell.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how he mastered Kaioken, isn't it? Oh no, that was on. Anyways,
Well, I mean,
There's
that planet did have heavy gravity where he mastered
there's actually
Kaioken, but
there's actually a great scene in season 1, like thinking about this of like the low gravity in
we're talking about season one
of The
Dragon Ball
Expanse.
Z.
No, of the Expanse,
I
where
haven't seen that.
they
I don't know.
It's a good
little
show.
spoiler, but I love they torture someone using gravity. He's just so weak from like being on a planet with light gravity. They just have him strung up by hooks, and they're just letting gravity do its thing. He's like, oh, he can't lift himself like off the hooks.
Dude,
It's
that
just
is
like so painful,
That's a devastating torture, actually.
devastating, man.
Fucking
And it's like
devastating
just gravity,
torture.
nothing, just your own body weight at like different gravity. You're just like, oh, getting murdered by these little hooks, like holding your shoulders up. I love that.
I feel like that'd be the
scene in
perfect way to
season
torture
one.
you.
Oh yeah, dude, you could
Put him on
You
the
could do
rack.
that to me right now. You do that to me right now, man. In a pool water, I'd be screaming.
All right, so as far as Mars goes, there must be like rare minerals or something that you maybe could mine and
We don't know yet, right?
Well, we don't really know.
Isn't there? I thought they found some organic materials on Mars.
Well, they found traces of methane like secretion, and they think it
Cow
might
farts.
yeah, they got fucking Mars cows under the sand. No, but they think it might be from some type of biological, like some type of bloom of some type of microorganism or something that's causing the methane release, but they don't really know. Or it could be volcanism, unseen volcanism.
And I'm gonna botch this for sure, but I know they did a test with one of the rovers where they scooped soil sample from the surface and they just sealed a container, and then they waited because if there's like microbe life, like life will happen in the tube, and they can measure like stuff will eat other stuff, and like Ryan said, exude methane, and just stuff will life will find a way.
And
Nothing happened in the
life
tube.
finds a
It's a
way.
very simple experiment, but nothing changed in the tube. So they're saying like because of that, chances of life on surface soil low. But that doesn't mean we go there and don't find like oil deposits. And if you find
Oh.
oil deposit, that means there
fuck.
was life.
We're going to space right now.
Dude,
That's happening.
if you find oil, we'll be there instantly. Humans will
Buddy,
fucking be all over
if,
that.
If they,
planet.
there'll be WMDs on Mars in no time, and they'll be going. They'll know.
Space Force is going to Mars instantly if they find
right.
fossil fuel. But
But that's the thing. It's like, would we need if we developed a type of propulsion system that got us there? It's not going to use fossil fuels.
right,
So it's like at that point we'd be like, why would if you even found oil out there, you'd be like, why would I need it? because then it would be more expensive to ship that stuff from Mars to Earth.
Yeah,
than it would be to actually
Unless
use it there and there.
they find some type of way, a new propulsion system that's fucking a little bit more efficient, takes a lot less time.
what I was saying, if we found fossil fuels on Mars, and if we want to have a civilization or a colony on Mars, and you could mine for the fossil fuels there, now you have an energy source, right? I'm just saying, if they found them there, you could do everything we did on Earth, but you just fuck up Mars next. But hey, you would increase the CO2, warming the planet, slowly terraforming Mars into a habitable place because we burnt all their fossil fuels.
Now,
After
terraforming
100,000 years, maybe.
So now terraforming is just basically making it more Earth-like.
Yeah,
It's
more
suitable to us.
suitable to life as we would experience it.
Okay.
But I think what terraforming, Dan knows how long to terraform a planet, you think?
Probably 1,000 years.
At least 1,000?
Oh, like ridiculous amount of time.
'Cause you'd have-
like, at our current technological level, it would take us lifetimes, like generations, to actually terraform that planet to somewhere where you could survive without a spacesuit.
Right.
Like there's really difficult to say how long it would take at this time. Like I would say at least like definitely more than 100 years.
Now, 100 years would be amazing.
Yeah. Like 100 years is like optimistic.
I would
Thinking if we found some way, like Elon Musk had this idea of
Nuke
like
it.
setting off nukes,
nuke it.
like setting off nukes on Mars, nuke Mars, let the methane from nuke the polar ice caps of Mars, let out all because most of that is CO2. Most of it is like liquid or frozen CO2. So like you let that CO2 shoot up into the atmosphere, into its gaseous form, and then it would kind of help, the buildup of an atmosphere over Mars, and then be able to warm it a little bit and perhaps make it a little bit more habitable, but it wouldn't be by much.
Right.
And not just that, like Mars has they have sandstorms on Mars that are pretty much planet wide and last for months.
Jesus.
Sounds great. Sounds
And
super
so
livable and
you'd have to deal
fantastic.
with that somehow. you literally have like dust mountains that move, and it's just like, so you could be buried under a Mount Everest of dust like in a month.
And that's the other issue too, is like you said, right now, I mean, if we're getting a colony there and starting, we need resources. And water isn't an abundant thing on Mars, so you're gonna have to find a way to deal with that.
Well, and then the other thing too is like, you need water. How the fuck are you going to bring it there? Like how are you going to officially bring water?
No, you got to mine
It's
it.
so heavy.
You got to mine the water there.
Right?
You
Like-
have to mine it there.
You have to mine it there, or you have to bring it from somewhere else.
Well, but how are you going to you're going to have like shuttles dedicated of just bringing water, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Like
yeah,
that's
it'd be a good business. It's just like in the if you
space shuttle sponsored by Aquafina.
yeah. Well, in the Expanse, which is probably one of the best examples of like kind of how space
Fuck,
colonization
the show's
might play
so
out.
good.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I've read all the books. I love the books before the show came out, but like I love the books and the concepts in the books. But one of theirs is like their big thing is like they ship in water. Like you have water haulers. You have people that pretty much like businesses, shipping businesses that's all they do. They go out into the asteroid belt, and then they bring back frozen, asteroids that are made mainly of water and things like that, and they ship it back to Mars.
Right.
Ceres is one of the places that they use as like there's a large station there because Ceres is the largest pretty much celestial body in the asteroid belt. It's technically a dwarf planet. So and scientists have observed like there's a lot of frozen water there. So basically you mine it from Ceres and then you would ship it to Mars.
Right.
And it's not like
Sounds
that's
practical.
not like the first time to do it. There's other stories where I know at least one other one where they ship it from like Saturn. Like you go out into Saturn, but that was kind of the idea is like you'd find frozen water out in the solar system and you ship it to wherever you need it to be.
Well, yeah. So Ceres that would be, I guess, the next spot in the solar system if you're going out to that might support human life.
But we're skipping over one thing here. If you've got all these shipping lanes and you're flying, going everywhere with these resources, you're bringing back pirates. Then this is space pirates,
Space
coming
Ice
back,
Pirates.
baby. Ice pirates.
Ice Pirates.
making
the
a
film
comeback.
from, what's it? Ice Pirates. It's a movie, Ice Pirates.
There definitely is a movie like that, I'm sure.
It's Ice Pirates, 1984, best year ever. That's when
Right, because it
Transformers
would
came
make
out.
sense, like in the void of space, like if you can intercept, you know what I mean, or take a cruise hull halfway. It's like the vast, because it takes so long to get everywhere. Like there's no way anything can come and help or like come arrest you. You're like, oh, I'm gonna take some of this ice and I'm gonna now fuck off, and I'm 100,000 miles away from any trouble, any law enforcement.
100 million miles away, probably.
Yeah.
Well, then you need
Because
space
like,
police. Come on. Space cops.
Water is going to be such a precious commodity in these times of us colonizing other planets where it's not abundant.
Yeah, but you
Right.
know what? You want to know how you prevent stuff like that? You get yourself a fucking loose cannon. A loose cannon by the name of Lance Kincaid. Problem fucking solved.
Buddy, Lance Kincaid is Holden in the show.
Is Holden?
Everyone's like, God damn it, Holden.
That's true. If you're
You
gonna
son of a bitch, Holden.
Lance Kincaid.
I don't know. Is Lance Kincaid more Holden or is he more Amos?
I think Holden.
He's a little bit of all of them, all right? I don't know who any
Lance
of these guys
Kincaid-
are,
I
but
guess he's detective. Lance Kincaid's probably like, that's tough.
Lance
tough.
Kincaid could be a little bit of everybody.
I think we all have a little Lance Kincaid.
I was
in us,
just
to
gonna
be
say
honest.
that.
well, did you guys know that Lance Kincaid's fucking Ron Pond's third cousin?
Jesus, I did not know this.
Yeah, runs in
No,
the family.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
Older, younger?
Younger.
Older.
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 He doesn't age. He doesn't age.
Because he was in the 80s.
He's also a time traveler.
Well, if he's
so,
part of
I
the
mean,
Ron Pond family, distant cousin, third cousin, they all don't age. The whole family
It's
is
true.
Lance Kincaid has been cryogenically frozen a couple of times, so his age is not settled.
Well, man,
Well, and
him,
let's not
Simon
even- let's
Phoenix,
not even
they're all
talk-
been frozen together, man. I've seen it.
I don't want to even get into the how many times he's been cloned for good
Jesus.
and evil.
Well, if you go with the multiverse theory, it's limitless.
Yeah, Lance Kincaid with the goatee.
That's I'm gonna say
Evil
that's the
Lance
only thing the
Kincaid.
Expanse is missing. And I
Quance
hope they really
Lincade.
take a note here and they introduce a Lance Kincaid into the show.
Superhero?
Cance Lincade.
Yeah.
Is the evil one.
Yeah. Chance Kincaid.
No.
Okay, let's
But-
get back on track. Let's get back on track. Lance Kincaid. More coming from Lance Kincaid.
And the Space Crusades of Lance Kincaid.
Soon. Just that's all we got to say about that. Okay, so after Mars, we got the asteroid belt. Ceres is the biggest asteroid or dwarf planet in the belt, but there's like millions and millions of asteroids, all
Tons.
all chocked full of ice, precious metals, minerals, limitless resources, right? Fucking
Yeah.
limitless. And if we're gonna become, say, we're gonna live on Mars or we're gonna live on Ceres or another dwarf planet or a moon of some kind, and there's not enough water or air, like oxygen, like ice is all it's water, but it's also can be like through hydrolysis separated into oxygen. Like we can breathe this stuff. So if you're gonna like start living in places where you need air tanks and stuff isn't perfectly sealed and you're slowly losing oxygen here and there, you always need to refill like your oxygen supply. Ice and comets and asteroids like that is the future of space mining. Like, right? Like that, if without that, there's no way we could get out any farther. I don't think.
No, perfecting technology to kind of take advantage of all the stuff. Yeah, like you said, all the loose shit that's out there. Like there's plenty of stuff for us to
Limitless.
get for us to take advantage of if we can do it. Like if you have the technology to mine asteroids and meteors and things like that, it's not too shabby. Like we have a pretty good chance to get out there. It's just, those long periods of time that you're going to be out in space, like those are going to be painful.
Yeah.
You're going to be out there doing those things and working out in 0G and all those kinds of things is like that's all stuff that's like still kind of up in the air. We're not really quite sure how that would all affect us. Like, people talk about like how astronauts, like, I mean, we just talked about it, how their bodies change, with the
Stretch out and
they stretch, like their spinal column stretches out. That stuff kind of pops out of the way, like
God,
how they're
feels so good. It feels so good.
now when you come back.
now when you come back, it'd be a compressed discs.
Not to mention, people like fucking grow, man. That'd be so. Okay, you know what? Space is not better.
He's sold on space.
I'm thinking. Nick, all you gotta tell me now is I'm gonna grow hair there too. I'm fucking sold.
The radiation.
Here's the thing.
The radiation will grow back your hair.
No, it won't. It does the opposite effect. Actually.
Ceres has 3% of Earth's gravity. So if you thought you were yoked on Mars, buddy, Superman.
Done. Sign me up.
Forget Greek gods. Superhero.
I'll fucking sign me up.
Is Ceres the one where you could almost fly if you were flapping your arms?
I mean,
yeah.
If you pushed off of hard enough against something, yeah. But
if you strap some wings on, could you fly at 3% gravity?
It would
Probably.
only be cool though if there's actually fucking people already there that are going to be like, holy shit, you guys are so rad, and I'm like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, I'm strong, whatever.
Actually, they would probably be pretty mad at you.
Yeah,
that's fine. What are they going to fucking do about it? I'm the strongest guy on the planet. What are you going to do? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Cut off your air supply? I don't know. Like,
yeah. You could literally
a lot of things.
You would be like the Hulk, man. You could pull them and how you'd be like, ah.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know if it works like that.
Well, we could try it.
If your tendons turn to paper.
Well, no, because if an organism lived on that 3% gravity, like it would become accustomed to that, right? So it would be so fragile, like it wouldn't be able to exist on Earth.
But you're assuming that they would always have 3% gravity and they wouldn't have used the technology to spin it. So they got centrifugal gravity working for them.
Exactly.
Something like that.
I'm assuming that we're going to be superheroes.
I'm going to go with that.
But
I like that.
The other thing is like, I wonder too, is like, jump a couple of generations, you start to get cities. We're doing mining operations now. Is like the average size of the population going to grow? Like, is it all going to be like, Slendermans?
Yeah, I don't want to go anymore.
I think if you're born, like in The Expanse, if you're born, like the show, it's a great show. I've been watching it lately. It's fucking awesome. But if you're born, they call them belters. If you're born on the belts, like on the asteroid belt, you are a tall, thin, frail, skeleton, like Trevor-looking motherfucker from Trailer Park Boys. Like,
or you kind of look like Zal a bit.
Dude, I'm jacked. My musician body is ripped. Let me tell you something. I stopped doing carpentry and I just got way stronger somehow.
Every show, Zell takes his shirt off.
And as promised, we're all Winnie the Pooh in it this episode, just so everyone's aware.
Nobody stand up. Or if we do, well, the show is rated 18+ now, so I guess you can show a quick second.
You don't want to see it.
No, you don't want to see.
If we show that, the pod's over. We'll get nonstop ridiculed, and we'll have to force us off. We'll be canceled.
And you have to use the Zoom. You need some Ken Burns effect.
We'll be getting a bunch of 3.5 stars, if you know what I mean.
So this is where I go. I'm gonna go on a little bit of go really sci-fi.
Okay.
We talk about there's theories that maybe the first civilizations came from Mars.
Yep.
To Earth. If in that low gravity humans were to grow and be slender in that, but then come to Earth and be weak, could that be where like giants are from, like on Earth?
No.
Oh, that'd be way worse.
Yeah, it'd be way worse. You'd be way weaker if you came down here.
Well, that's why they came here, right? And their skeletons are around because they came, they set up, they died, they lived miserable short lives as they got crushed by Earth's gravity.
Imagine all these giant guys showing you like, oh shit, look, these guys are huge, man. Like, these guys are badass. And the biggest pussies.
You're just beating them with their own hands. You're like, little bitch.
That's why you got stories like David and Goliath. Goliath was just a big old puss.
Dude,
Goliath was an absolute weakling. He was just like in this like paper armor, like.
Yeah, he's like, don't hurt me.
He was all show.
He can't
Whacked him
even
with a
lift a
stone in his
fucking
head,
pebble.
like
He's
caved
like,
in his skull, just about took his head off.
No, I think if giants came from Mars or other places, like you're way taller and you came to Earth, you wouldn't last at all. You wouldn't last at all.
You think
You'd
you
be
just die
bedridden.
right
like
away?
you wouldn't even be able. Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to get
Oh
up.
man, you'd get off the spaceship and you'd herniate every
Come on.
disc.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do some math here.
That's one of the. I mean, that's one of the
Wait,
core
wait,
things
wait.
about a lot of.
Braden's doing math.
Oh Jesus.
If we wait for him, it's going to be like 2 hours.
So okay, so Mars is 30%
Gravity.
Earth's gravity.
Yep.
So I need to add my body weight times 1.7.
Well, what are you trying to do?
For what? What are you trying to
To
figure
see
out?
how much I would have to put on me to like basically say like I'm from Mars and now I'm from Earth. There's like how much weight I'd have to add
To keep
like instantly, and then to see if I could walk around with that. It's not that bad. I'm 220 pounds.
Yeah, but
I
it's
would
like,
have to.
but it's
I
not
would have
like
to throw
carrying.
on 374 pounds. Like so that
You'd be a
that-
fat
like,
blob.
instant jump.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm saying like I'd be sucking wind 100%. I wouldn't be moving anywhere real fast. But would I just die instantly? Like no,
Not
I'd just
instantly.
be fucking miserable.
You wouldn't die instantly. It'd be a slow, shitty death.
What are you talking about? He'd be in his fucking element. He'd be eating all the fucking chips and shit, laying in a chair, not doing anything. Be the happiest guy on
I'm
the
putting
fucking
on
planet.
my Mars weight.
Living my best life.
Yeah, you'd be in heaven, dude.
Eating a large pepperoni double cheese pizza every night.
Fuck yeah.
I'm just getting ready to go to Mars.
I'm Mars Balkan.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's
But that's what I was thinking. But so we got Ceres, we got Mars. Anywhere else we can in our solar system worth?
well, dude.
Going to?
If you keep going, so after the asteroid belt, right now you have like the Jupiter. Like it's almost like a Jupiter system. Like how many fucking moons does Jupiter have? Like 40 or
20, 30, 40?
I don't even know. I didn't look it up, but they got like 40 moons. I actually think Saturn now holds the record, even though Saturn's like they just found 20 more moons, but they're all like they're barely moons. But on like so what? I think was it Europa? Yeah, Europa. Jupiter's moon Europa. I think is one of NASA's prime targets because it actually is proven to have a ocean of ice, and underneath possibly liquid water. And like it's like a whole fucking planet. So like kind of like ours, right? Now, so like I don't know how are you gonna live on a fucking ice planet though? You like igloos, dig in and make an igloo.
Fuck that, dude! I couldn't even live up north anymore.
Well, but that's
Living
it.
in submarines.
Think about that though. Like at some point in time, human beings migrated up north and made it fucking work.
We did it.
You know what I mean? They did it.
Yeah, but I think
You know
like
what though? It's so cold
also had
heating.
air.
I think we're good at heating
That's
though.
true,
You know what I
too.
mean? Like we're good at heating.
Well, you know what though? Like if you look at evolution altogether, there's some point in time where they're like, this is all fucking crazy, but there's some point in time where there's these little tadpole fucking things in some ocean somewhere being like, you know what? One day we're gonna fucking walk on that land over there. And then the other tadpole's like, that's fucking crazy, dude. You're
right.
fucking drunk, but they did it.
Yeah, after a million years.
Exactly. It's gonna take some time. No biggie.
It's fine. We'll be around by then. We'll still be around. No problem.
No biggie.
Yeah, the fact is like the sad fact is that sad some way, I guess. Is that human beings are perfectly adapted to this environment. We spent millions of years adapting. Our bodies have spent millions of years adapting.
Or
million years, if you believe that, or whatever, evolution's a lie.
or aliens programmed us to be
Right.
who we are.
So
Either way.
we've been adapting to this planet for the longest time, and taking us out of here and going to another planet is a very,
Tricky.
very daunting task. Like you can't just be like plop us down somewhere. It's like, and like there's the air that we breathe is very specific. It's not just like oxygen. It's like a mix of like oxygen, nitrogen, all of those and together. And it's just, yeah, like it would be rough. Anywhere we go is going to be, you have to, again, like terraforming is kind of your best bet, but at this point we're like, it's way too expensive, it's way too, resource consuming, we can't do that. Finding a place that's more like Earth is what we have to do.
Yeah, and like the closest planet size-wise is Venus, and it's a fucking hot hellhole.
Well, it's funny you say
is
that.
it?
It's funny you say that because this upper atmosphere of Venus is estimated to be surprisingly habitable, and they think that
Upper
they could
atmosphere?
maybe have the like in the skies. We'd have cities in the skies
Okay.
Like
because
the Jetsons.
exactly
Cool.
at an altitude of 50 kilometers above Venus's surface. It's the most Earth-like system in the solar system. Pressure of approximately 1,000 HPA. I don't know what that is, and temperatures between 0 and 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it's
That's
Venus
Earth-like.
at one point. Scientists have theorized that it was very Earth-like.
Yeah.
And due to some event, some catastrophic event at some point, like it turned into a fucking hellhole like it is now. But above in that upper atmosphere part, like it's almost like solid. It's like water, like you can float on it. If you put built, the theory is, I think at least one NASA scientist has put forth the idea, the concept of building kind of just floating cities. Like you just build these giant ships that would just kind of float on the upper atmosphere of Venus, and it would be very Earth-like because Venus technically is closer than Mars.
Yep.
And it's much closer to our gravity. And then you living there would just be kind of one person kind of made the analogy of being like living on a giant cruise ship, but on Mars or something like that.
Right. So
So
Venus is the atmosphere is so thick but once you get up so far that it becomes almost like it's flyable, right? You could
yeah.
if you built.
They also have like a wind phenomenon, like winds that like rip in like 340 kilometers that circle the planet approximately every 4 Earth days in a phenomenon they call a super rotation. So they say like if you had flying cities, you could move them with these winds to like reduce like structure stress, and they could just like float around wherever the wind took them.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool, actually. That seems more doable than like, I got a list of all these moons. Like you have like the moons of like Titan, right? But the same thing,
Yeah.
like minus 180 degrees average temperature, full ice. But they say it's what's under the ice, and they don't really know what's under there. So if there's some type of volcanic activity, maybe there's caverns or like deep trench systems, like 100 times bigger than the Grand Canyon, where you could like set up a colony at the base of it. But like all these ones, like Miranda, which is like Uranus's moons, Enceladus, which this one's kind of cool because this is the ones that Cassini spacecraft, which if you were to believe was going to be the cause of plunging into Jupiter and causing it to explode into a second sun.
Yeah.
Back
That'd have been cool.
Back in that Mr. Conspiracy's prime theory there from a few years ago. But this one showed signs of like gigantic geysers from like the north and south poles, like huge volcanic activity. So they say that would be this place to go look for, because if there's that much volcanic activity, maybe there's like same type of thing, like deep caverns or like spots on the surface which are heated by like whatever, like the volcanism. But it seems still pretty inhospitable for human life. Whereas floating on a fucking sky platform, something from Dragon Ball Z or something, seems more I would say easier. Actually.
I mean, I'd be into it. I'm not going to work for that prick Spacely. I'm not going to do it. Fuck him and his sprockets.
You gotta get Spacely sprockets, man. You gotta make them
Jetson!
sprockets.
Fuck that guy.
Fine, you can go work for Cogs or whatever. Cogs Cogsley.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But so
Cogs sprockets.
At Parker, our purpose is simple. We want to make the world a better place by working more efficiently, by using more sustainable practices, by developing better technologies. We keep moving forward. With each new idea, innovation, and partnership, we're one step closer to fulfilling our purpose every single day. To find out more, visit parker.com/purpose. Parker, engineering your success.
That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable.
I
Jetsons.
definitely think Venus is a more interesting one because also like there's been proposals to terraform it where it's like they're like, you know what, we really just need to cool it down. Like if we can build some solar shades or something like that, get a better like day-night cycle so it's not so insulated and heat the surface, like it could be a very livable planet.
Right.
I mean, our technology, but it's that seems more doable where it's like where you can have that atmosphere and stuff like that, because on these other planets it's we're doing this weird thing where it's like we now have to almost resort to being hunting gatherers again, but just to like for air to sustain us and water, you know what I mean, where it's like we've moved past that in our current civilization on Earth where we like
But
to then go back to
that's
like
just
farming.
as essential as hunting and gathering for fucking food and nutrients, right?
Exactly. Right. But we've moved past that now. Like we're into an agricultural state, right? Where we farm and stuff. But it's weird that you would have to, it's like,
Which
okay,
probably
we're good on the food aspect now, but now
But that
we gotta go get that
agricultural
water.
era is probably led to why our fucking planet's been destroyed and why we're leaving in the first
Oh,
place.
100%.
I mean, the whole kind of thing. Yeah, that's actually a good point. The growing of food is something that would have to happen on a planet for it to be self-sustained, for it to actually be not a complete waste and on a drain on resources of Earth. Because then it's like not only would you be having to provide resources for the people who populated Earth, but also resources of people populated on a whole nother planet.
Right.
Growing. I mean, there's plenty of. That's what they've been doing. All those experiments on the International Space Station, and since they've been going up there, it's like, couldn't we grow food in 0G? And there have been some interesting stuff that has come out of it. We know we can grow barley in space, so we know we can get beer. at some
Boom.
point.
That's all you need.
Space beer.
Nutritious space beer.
So I mean, like that, and there's the whole thing. I know some scientists were talking about, vat grown beef, like vat grown meat can be done, or you can do it like some things like in the at least in the Expanse, like they do it where they grow it out of kind of like a fungus, like a type of mushroom kind of substitute, where you
Right.
take it kind of,
It's like
which I'd be fine with eating different types of mushrooms every day. I'd be fine.
Well,
I like mushrooms.
Now that they're like,
I'm
with all the
totally fine with
technology, fucking making meat from stem cells and stuff like that, like it's only the beginning.
Right. Yeah. We're just experiencing the very start of it now.
Yeah, but just having the resources.
they've
to do
only
that
really
on the planet.
they've made one burger.
No, they're past
and
that
it costs
now. They're past that now.
$300,000 and it tastes like shit.
Yeah, but no, they're no. It tasted like real meat. I thought that
Tastes about $1 more than your regular Whopper.
That's you're talking about Beyond Burger, but that's not like
Yeah.
lab grown meat.
No,
No,
that's
not
not brown.
lab-grown.
Like
That's
they
just a
like a
vegetable.
lab grown. They use
Stem cells.
and
Yeah.
animal cells, and they just grow.
that's
a
only the
hunk
beginning of
meat.
it. It's you know what I mean. Like it's going to get to a point where it's going to be just as affordable as normal meat.
Oh, for sure. Like any technology we have now, if you go back to the start of it, they're like, there's no way. How are we going to get any better in this? And all of a sudden you have broadband wireless internet in most of the developed world.
This is a good question, because how would you even feed? You would have to do something like this in these colonies, because it's not like you're having areas for animals and stuff and farming. So like I imagine you have some sort of like toothpaste tube that
Yeah.
you just like suck a little like
No.
high nutrient.
Protein pills, man.
You have
CRISPR
you have synthesized nutrition, whether that be like some type of like, just like you have protein powder, right? But like instead of just protein powder, it's like here's your daily of everything, and you put it into you blend it up, and like you fucking drink it, and like all right, there's your bare minimum calories, protein, and everything you need just to survive.
I mean, that would be great.
What?
That would be my lunch. I would take
Yeah.
that to work with me. Put it in the fucking
I
shake
hate
cup.
like prepping food, and I would definitely be on board with that.
I'd be fine with it.
You would also have, man, it would get so weird because you would also have like, you would have some weird body scan or whatever. Then it's like you would eat perfectly to your DNA. Like whatever you needed, it would scan you and you'd be like, oh, here's the little crest, Pro B15 you need.
Right. So
Perfect.
Just like they tell you, you can do those tests and they're like, yeah, you're like mainly from the Slavic nations of Eastern
Eating
Europe.
for your ancestry.
This is your ideal diet. Like you probably shouldn't have dairy. You should have this much of this and this and this. And you could you go to the vending machine just like you buy like a pack like a chocolate bar. You can buy like, oh yeah, I'm Eastern European or wherever.
You probably scan your thumb and it scans your DNA and
That's
it's
probably
like
more-
this is what you need to eat. This is what you're lacking, and here's your little slop.
Here's your gruel.
paste.
Better be halal.
What do you want
That's
it
all
to
I gotta
taste
say.
like? And you're like, I don't know.
Shit
Turkey
better be
dinner? They're like,
halal,
okay.
man. I'll eat that.
You just add like a, when you go to the movies and you get like the popcorn powder, like, what do you want? Dill? Dill, all dressed, barbecue, teriyaki. You just pour that on your gruel and you're like, oh, that tastes pretty nice.
I would be fine with like different flavored mushroom
Gruel?
paste, like different flavored fucking shiitake mushrooms every day. I'd be like, that's fine.
All right. Well, now we've gone through most, like pretty much once you get past the asteroid belt, everything becomes too cold and too low of like solar radiation to really produce enough energy to grow anything. So you'd have to like offset it with like artificial light, and it'd be way too hard, I think, once you got past the asteroid belt.
Here's the thing that interests me the most about space colonization is that some people were mentioning it earlier in chat and talking about who controls it.
It's true.
Whoever gets there first.
Yeah.
Wh-
Who's got the bigger army?
You have examples like the International Space Station. Each country that built sections of the space station has jurisdiction over those. Like whoever goes to the space station, like they have actual laws written out where it's like those people whoever goes there, they're under the jurisdiction of that country from which they're from.
Right.
So if you were to start a colony on Mars and at some point it becomes self-sufficient, what happens then?
Ooh, that's a good question. When
You know,
at what point
who-
does the colony become big enough to separate? I mean, you could just use like
Yeah.
how like Western,
When does Mars have its Independence Day?
Yeah.
like in Western countries like Canada, Australia, United States, all like everyone who came from England originally, or most people, eventually there came a time like, well, we don't fucking need England anymore. Fucking give them the boot.
Well, like you can fucking might as well compare Hawaii to Mars. Like, why is Hawaii part of fucking the United States?
Because they have a big military and they took
exactly.
We do.
So whoever gets there first with the big military. I mean, there's only one fucking space force so far. So
But after a couple generations, then what?
it. Yeah.
Are you more loyal to the people who live on Mars, or are you going to be basically just keep sending military from Earth to Mars, and then you still have the problem of being that they're not really Martians? They would be like an occupational force. They'd be like
They would turn into an oppressing force.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it'd just be it's the same story throughout like human origins. Like when someone takes over eventually, like when you colonize somewhere, eventually that colony becomes its own place. So
Right. And that's one of the problems is like calling at least one Bill Nye the Science Guy says that we should use
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He's one of a few scientists that think we shouldn't call it colonization, because colonization implies that you're going there for the soul
Takeover.
enrichment of your home country.
it's the American way.
You know,
yeah, I agree with
you want
that.
to talk Americans? You want to talk about Canadians and your
And our what?
fantastic history with your natives?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
We're buddies now.
I
We're
think
not gonna
we
talk about
traded them
residential
fair and
schools
square.
No, I agree. I think whatever. So yeah, so we started a colony on Mars.
Bad note everywhere.
And then all of a sudden, like you get 20, 50, 100, 200,000 people on Mars, couple generations. Eventually, as soon as they do not need help from Earth or like wherever like the original colonizing people were from, is when you would see Mars become its own.
It's gonna be a long
Planet?
time.
That's when you
Yeah,
see Mars
its home
join
planet?
Solar Warden with Corey Goode and the boys and join the Space Force fighting aliens from God knows where.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be too busy fighting the insectoids, right?
Yeah, insectoids and the reptoids.
To declare independence from Earth. So, I mean, we'd be good, right?
Right.
But that's the thing, and
question.
you know, you have all these colonies working, and then if like Earth we're leaving because we need resources, then it is, and that's what the show does so well, is it does this like this political landscape of the planets against each other, because it's like, well, why are we working to give Earth, like we need this shit, right? So it would be this very interesting planetary political game.
It's always like, it's a really fun picture that The Expanse, like books and the TV show, draw of how we would, as a civilization, move out into the universe, where it's like there's not only do you have the different cultures of each like planet and each settlement. For example, like you have people on Mars, and the people on Mars still kind of identify with cultures on Earth. They're more geared towards like having those kinds of, you know, idiosyncrasies of the people who colonized them. At least one of the like the pilot, what's his name? Freaking the pilot of the guy, one of the pilots in of the ship, the Rocinante or whatever.
Oh.
Alex, I think it's Alex Kamal, and his colony originally, like on Mars, was settled by like a mixture of both like people from India and also people from Texas. And so he's got like this kind of Texas drawl, which kind of leaves him, you know, they identify as that culture. Whereas you have people who settle out into the belt where like a mixture of kind of like Portuguese. So they come up with this kind of like a pidgin language of both English and Portuguese, and they kind of slap it together, and it's really interesting. They even have their own kind of way to communicate through like hand signals, right? Because they grew up like working in 0G and airless environments, and so they use these kind of like gestures and stuff, like almost unconsciously they'll do it, like nodding with their hands or something like that, or, you know, using okay signs or things like that. They just do it because that's just how you survived out there.
Right.
Man,
So,
it's
like
crazy to
Belt
think
or
about
sign language.
how many generations it would take to then just be alien to each other, like someone from Earth and someone from like the outside belt, just like a couple generations apart, of like language changing and developing, and like you'd be like hard to communicate. You'd be like, what the fuck are they saying?
Yeah,
You're
you
talking
think
to
you like
anyone
look at
from
the just
Australia,
languages.
like Byron when he has a couple drinks in him.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah,
What?
God.
What are you talking to me?
What, Byron?
Byron?
Yeah, I just think of like the changes that language has gone through on Earth in the last
5
couple
years.
100 years.
5 years. All of a sudden now
You
people
know?
got all these new terms. I can't keep up anymore with all these terms. Turnt and fire, and like all of a sudden now fire means good and turnt means drunk. I don't fucking know anymore.
It's a turnt means drunk. Does it?
I don't know. I seen someone wearing a turnt
Is that what
shirt.
getting turned is?
Getting turned,
Is that
getting
like
fucked
getting
up.
crunked?
It's like getting
Crunk
crunk.
the same?
Like getting crunk, but getting turned.
No one says crunk anymore.
What the fuck is Crunk?
Crunk was Little
That
John.
was like when we were in
Crunk's
like
the guy
Crazy
from
and drunk.
fucking
crunked.
Emperor's New Groove,
Is
that's
what?
isn't he?
I don't know.
Is it Gronk?
Crunk.
So I'm saying, but yeah, language changes fast. So yeah, if you like separated for even just 1 or 2 generations, like Earth to Mars, and they became Martians, not Earthlings, language had changed quick, like real quick. And if there was not like, unless there was like, maybe there's a fucking inter soul, like our solar system, inter soul broadband television where you can watch we're watching shows from Mars, they're way better, and then people on Mars are like we're watching
imagine
shows from
that-
Earth.
BBC,
imagine that
man.
shit.
BBC's great.
Imagine that shit and being like, oh, not only does mainstream media lie, but Mars stream media lies too. Like, fuck those guys.
Man, interdimensional TV fucking rocks.
Well, internet.
Yeah, I bet you get all your news from Fox Mars, don't you?
MSN beep Earth MSN. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man,
It's
I
hilarious.
can't imagine what that would be like. I mean, yeah, that'd be weird. Oh, did you watch that last 0G drama last night? Like, fuck, that shit was
Nah,
turnt.
nah, man, that shit's
Right.
from the belt. I don't watch
Right.
anything from the belt.
Fucking
I
belt.
don't watch nothing from the belt. Those motherfuckers.
Think
on the
about
belt.
all the space racism.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
There's gonna be a ton of space racism.
Spacism.
Spacism.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about why to leave, where to go. How are we gonna get there? Because right
What
now,
do you mean? We didn't even talk about planets like Tatooine and Endor and like those people already living there. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
those are in galaxies far.
Not
far away.
Alderaan though.
We're talking about close though.
hey,
Alderaan not
hey,
there no more.
hey, we can talk
Not
about
so
how to
good.
get there, how to get to different galaxies. But
How would we get there? How?
wormholes? I don't know. Hyperspace?
Well, that's a. I mean, what do they use in the show? What do their
Force.
ships use?
Oh, in the
Expanse.
Expanse, they developed something on Mars called the Epstein Drive.
Well, we probably would choose
We'll
a
probably
different
name it
name.
Maybe we'll change the name.
We'll name it something else.
Yeah, they
I
probably.
don't think that name will stick in this in our timeline.
Anyways, they develop like in order to get to make it efficient and cost efficient to get to these planets, we'd have to develop a new or a more like a better propulsion system. We can't rely on like rocket fuel and like it just
our own Epstein is what you're saying.
our own Epstein.
I wonder if this piece like hangs in their fucking machinery there, or if it's just like bolted in. I don't know.
Yeah, how does it work? Free hangs.
It's like I think it's like an
hangs itself?
antimatter engine, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much like yeah.
Well-
It allows us to get through space. I don't know how many times faster, but like 100 times faster. So you can get instead of 8 months or 10 months to get to Earth to Mars, it's like a 30-day trip or something. So we have to figure out a way to make it faster.
I don't know. That's one of the I love the books. Is like that's the grooviest thing about the fucking
Groovy.
that bit. Like the space battles are fucking cool. They're not like Star Wars and stuff where people are kind of like yeah. It's like you strap yourself in to a fucking crash couch and you are like at the mercy of inertia. And it's like dudes are like they're just banging through space and it's like making these hard turns that would like rip your eyeballs out of your fucking sockets if you weren't like strapped in. Like it's like they just pump you full of drugs to like keep your blood vessels from exploding or like just severing themselves. It's really cool how they talk about
Some
how they fight in
vasodilators.
space.
Okay, well,
Fighting in space, like space battles, like that shit would suck.
yeah.
Just at the speeds you could move, like the speeds, like you're not. I mean, it's at this point we can't really imagine it, but the way that you could move in space as compared to Earth, it's not like a normal aerial battle. It's not like fighter jets. It's like probably 100 times worse because you can move in any direction and not just like, whichever the way you can get over through the air and things like that. But it's just like, oh man, I can't imagine like 1 second like you're going straight up and the next one you're just like, just like shoot back down. Like you just fucking, I don't know, your fucking testicles would slam up into your fucking brain.
Pop out your eyeballs.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, like I just pulled it up. So in the Expanse, the Epstein Drive can reach speeds of 4,000 kilometers per second.
Holy.
So what's the moon? About 400,000. So 100 seconds to the moon.
What?
If you were,
Wild.
but it takes a while. It takes a while to accelerate.
Yeah.
So it's like
Without killing you. Yeah. You'd have to like take acceleration. Like, I know there's at least one other novel series where they talk about how we would be able to accelerate to that speed, not being able to kill yourself, because there's only so much acceleration the human body can stand.
Yeah.
And if you accelerate at a normal speed, I think in the Expanse they try to keep it to acceleration within like normal Earth tolerances, or if they're trying to get somewhere faster, it's a little bit more because that's as much as you could stand.
Yeah, they say
at a certain speed.
I mean, I guess the real question would be is how long it would take it to do the Kessel Run. Like how many parsecs?
how many parsecs?
Well,
Let's be
dude,
honest.
based on the science of this one, if you went into light speed the way fucking they do in Star Wars, where they're just like from 0 to fucking Mach 1,000,000,
It's over.
you just explode yourself in your little seatbelt in the ship, and then when you came to a stop at the other end, you just be like, whoa, splatter
Yeah, but that's
into the front.
that's assuming that we haven't developed like the anti-gravitic like space-time distortion technology like the Tic Tac UFOs and stuff exhibit, where they can go at that speed because they're not affected by inertia. But in the show, it's about 13 Gs is the most they'll do. They try and average 5, which is five. Like you experience 5 or 6 on a pretty powerful roller coaster. So Still pretty.
Dude, I was fucked up after every single one of those roller coasters we went on.
You were so shook. He fucking passed out on the Hulk at Universal Studios. No word of a lie. He fucking fainted like a little bitch.
Coming around the second turn, I was like,
It was hilarious.
"Ugh."
No,
I felt my
seriously, he's
body go
fucking
limp.
unconscious. It was amazing.
I had a headache for 4 days after we went in LA to Magic Mountain.
Dude, everyone in the Expanse is just living with CTEs.
Yeah.
Rampant CTEs.
I remember reading one book where they overcame the inertia problem by what they would do is basically they would integrate people with this kind of like nanomachine rebuilder. And so what would happen is like you would accelerate to these insane speeds, your body would basically liquefy, and then the nanomachine would rebuild you once you got there.
The other thing about these like traveling long distances case, because if we don't get Epstein drives, we would have to do something about the like being in a ship for that amount of time, because like you'd have to like cryogenically freeze people or something, because like just being awake sitting in a little tin can for 8 months would drive you fucking crazy.
I couldn't do that. It'd be like being in jail.
Put me to sleep.
Yeah,
Crazy.
no,
I'd be like working on an aircraft carrier, I assume, because they're out there for like 4 or 5 months at a time.
do that, man.
Yeah, but you can go up to the deck and like get outside, get some fresh air, like stretch around. Like this is, you would not.
I don't
Not.
know. Not. And so you'd have to come up with ways, put people in like VR or something to kind of just get you used to that kind of isolation. Yeah, there's space madness. Like,
Isn't it hard? Isn't it
Space
also
is
isn't
the
it, like,
place.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it hard to shit in space?
Probably.
Isn't it hard to have bowel movements because like the gravity is just
Some
not working
tells me,
everything down?
some tells me, Braden, you'll have no problem shitting in space.
Stay tuned for After Hours
Yeah.
for Braden's
Stay tuned
most
for After Hours.
disgusting shit story you've ever. No, it's gonna be bad.
It's terrible.
No, yeah. So we need in order to expand through the solar system, we need different propulsion technology. I don't know. There's different kinds. There's like people talk of like light sails and like ion drives, and we've talked about it before. What was that? It's called like the EDM. No, it's not EDM.
EDM.
We already talked about sandstorms.
It's powered by music.
Pulse your way through space, baby.
It's just every ship is like a gigantic rave.
Prepare for light speed. Get your light sticks out, men.
It's all sitting there like, all right, you guys done?
Fucking hate you guys.
I'm just wait. I'm waiting. I love it. I love this. It's my favorite. Yeah, like ion drives, solar sails, like plasma engines, antimatter engines, like stuff. Science fiction. We got to figure out. We got to take some of this science fiction, make it science fact, in order to efficiently move through space. Because right now it's too expensive and it takes too long to really go anywhere.
And it just burns through resources like crazy.
Like solar sails is good if you're going a long distance with because it will always pick up speed, and once it starts going, it'll never slow down. But
It's just slow acceleration.
Slow acceleration, and right now I don't think you can move like too big of a ship. So if we're gonna how many people would we have to send as like a good starting colony? 1,000, 5,000?
Well, I think you would honestly have to maybe a couple thousand, but I think you would have to have some test tube babies or something.
Oh man,
Frozen embryos.
Ready to half of those
Frozen
people
embryos
fucking
ready
die.
to go.
At least half die.
Well, the first crew, it's definitely not 100% more success rate.
At least half.
2033, the first people on Mars, it's not going to be good.
Sorry. We thank you for your sacrifice, but half you going down.
Be all fucking pale and bald and just not looking
Sounds
good.
like the pod.
Yeah.
Anything else on solar expansion we want to touch on?
Let's
before
talk
we move
about let's talk about what are some of the ways that we could do it, like health related.
Like how are we going to survive?
Like how are we going to survive? So say we do get out, we get the engine, we get there. Right now, we don't have. I don't think we have great medical technology for keeping people alive in space.
We don't have great medical technology for keeping people alive fucking on Earth right now. So We still use the exact same methods we used in the 70s for fucking cancer treatment.
Raising $100 billion a year for cancer treatment, and nothing's changed in 40 years.
No. And what does high amounts of radiation cause?
Cancer.
Cancer.
No, but I would think about this, like, what, because now we're like talking about like gene editing, CRISPR stuff.
I think that's the only way to do it successfully.
So like now you identify the genes that get fucked up from too much radiation, or like that cause cancer, or like low G's, those radiations that like start atrophying like muscles and stuff. What if you can turn those off? Turn off those genes. So now you get yoked on Earth. You shoot through space to Mars, and now you're yoked on Mars forever.
Well,
Fucking cool, man.
well, like large animals like whales and elephants, they have a like kind of a unique way of dealing with that, because they have, like, you would think because how big they are, they would just have way more cancer, because it's just they have more cells in their body, so they have more chances of these cells to go rogue. They just produce way more like cancer detecting genes. Like, just that's their like evolutionary solution,
Right.
is just to fucking pump out a crazy amount of cancer detecting genes, like way light years more than we do. So if we could use some CRISPR technology to just even have us in our human bodies produce more cancer detecting genes,
There's
like a couple Levi 501s, you put on
511.
detect
so
cancers.
now we should genetically modify ourselves with animal DNA. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Animorphs.
This sounds like the episode of Rick.
It's Terraformars, which is a great Japanese TV show where they engineer people with animal powers. Like, it's pretty great.
What's the island of Dr. Shivago or whatever?
Animorphs?
Shivago?
No, it's way fucking cooler. You got people who are engineered. There's a dude who's like engineered like a blue ringed octopus.
So he's
Fucking
super.
shooting out venom spikes everywhere.
He's
Some
super
dude's,
poisonous.
I mean, I've already been
there's
engineered.
a Russian dude who's got like crab arms. There's giant crab arms.
I've already been engineered half mongoose. It's already been done. It's technology. It's nothing new.
To a 12-pound rodent.
Yeah. That's why I'm so short.
Like the bottom half.
Where do you
like the
think he
bottom
gets
half
his
of-
size and speed from?
Exactly. Exactly. But no, I think that's the way to do it. Like it's something that we're somewhat on the brink of. Like, there was just twins born that are resistant to fucking HIV and AIDS.
Like, just
Yeah,
randomly.
but they also don't know.
that
They're
they
not
were
100% sure how.
they were genetically
messed up these twins
fucking
are gonna be.
altered to be so.
Sorry, I heard two people
Oh, you're
talking.
talking about the Chinese ones.
I'm talking about the Chinese babies that were fucking genetically altered to be resistant to HIV.
Theoretically, they're not. It's not 100% sure at this point.
It's not 100% proven, and they don't really know any other effects that they've done. Like, they don't know if what they've tried to do is
Listen,
succeeded.
Brayden, if there's
And if
fucking
there's
pig
any
babies, then we can do it. Okay? There's pig babies.
The pig babies, Joe.
Jesus.
No, and there's also a third. Like, CRISPR technologies. It's, to me, I think that's the way we're gonna go in the future. Like, it's these gene splicing, when you just punch it in and it goes and does its thing and finds these, snips it in and just plugs stuff into your genes, takes stuff out,
Well, like,
and
if you look at,
I think we use it to. We're not gonna have fucking crab arms, Dan. But it's like,
Are you
never
sure?
know. You don't
Then
know.
I'm out. Then I'm out. Like, if I don't get giant crab arms, then I'm out.
I want praying
why not make
mantis arms.
ourselves
Yeah, praying
more
mantis
resistant?
arms?
Mantis arms.
No, but like, I don't know. I seen what happened to that guy on One Punch Man with the fucking crab arms, and it didn't work out good for him.
He worked poor.
Did not work out well for him.
He got one punched.
But
But
there's
he wasn't trained in Krav Maga.
Here's Dan's new song, Mantis Daniel.
But like there, you know what I mean? Like, have you heard about that radiotrophic fungus that's grown in Chernobyl though?
No.
Like, that shit's crazy, man. Like, that's a fungus that's growing in a radioactive environment that's actually thriving and feeding off of,
Like, it's a new fungus completely.
yeah, and it's feeding off of the fucking radioactive you know what I mean, environment,
Hulk
and
shrooms.
growing and producing energy, and it has melanin, and that's why it's able to do so. And what do we have?
Melanin.
Exactly.
Well, some of us have
I think
less than others,
some
but
of us have more than
There you go.
I have a very limited supply of melanin left in my body.
That's because you've been dead for a long time because you're a vampire. But we already know that.
I'm not a vampire. I got no.
Zell's so
my
fraught.
my canine teeth. These vampire teeth are so small.
They grow when you feed.
I
Everybody
bet you
knows that.
if you fucking died, you'd still have blood in your heart. I guarantee it.
Just like baddest
Mercy Brown.
baddest vamp in the whole damn town.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
But yeah, I think health wise, I think it'd be we'd have to get into more preventative than what we're doing now. Of then like, oh, we'll just
There's no money in
Take pills and
preventative
stuff.
medicine, Braden.
no, there's
No.
not. But
No, nothing.
And,
Big Pharma ain't supporting that shit.
And you're right. And that's why we would do the dumbest shit ever in space. We would have these colonies, and Earth would be like, "Oh, you want your radiation pills, Mars? Well, you better send us a fucking water, or you're not getting your radiation pills."
We put embargoes and sanctions on Mars.
Oh, 100%. Dude, we'll turn off your air.
No more.
I mean, that's-
no more common ice for you.
Fucking Quaid.
There's a couple plot lines that hinge on that,
Yeah.
that in a couple books, like where it's like, yeah, Earth, because it would be such a huge resource drain, like trying to supply a colony on Mars, like it would be really easy to just hold that over their head.
Yeah.
And be like, we're not going to ship you water from Earth. So Mars has to find a different way to
From the belt.
get water.
From the belt.
Yeah, from the belt. Or from Saturn. One of them is Saturn.
Or they got to mine their poles or something.
Yep.
But that's pretty much all I think we had on solar system expansion. I mean, we are at the very, very, very start of it. Like in our lifetime, not a lot's going to happen. I don't think we might get some people to Mars at this rate. We probably won't. I don't know. We're definitely gonna get the moon, like the lunar gateway. Do we get
100%.
do we get a
It's
base on the moon? I don't know. It just seemed like I was looking at it because every once in a while I like to dive back into did we go to the moon theory? And I was just wondering, like, okay, how much did they actually spend, right? And it was like $45 billion on the Apollo program, which doesn't seem like a lot, which translates to like $260 billion today. But then if you factor in all the other economic factors like GDP and like all the other like work trades and all this stuff, something like $600 billion just to get back to the moon, like a real full crew mission, which is, I think, almost as much as the entire defense budget of the United States, just to get, if we were to take a moon, like a manned mission back. So it just doesn't seem, with all the problems going on in the world, it seems a little short-sighted to spend, $1 trillion trying to get to Mars and put a colony there, when at this rate, like, I know we talked about why would we leave, like overpopulation and climate change. We're still at the point in climate change where we could mitigate the lasting effects if we really tried. If we really went full nuclear and like really did our shit, which is probably not going to happen. But if we really tried, we could do it. So
you mean to tell me that it makes more sense to invest money in our own planet than searching for the perfect place that's exactly like our planet?
you could say that.
Ah,
It might
that makes
be.
sense.
It might
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
It might be a better option.
Okay.
It's right here. We're living on it. We're breathing on it.
Yeah.
Though as a sci-fi topic, it's fucking cool. And I think we eventually will get there. But in our lifetime, I don't think we're going to see a ton of progress towards jumping off the
Mars
planet.
mission. That'll be our lifetime. That's it.
If we get a Mars mission and like if we actually drop down onto Mars, set up like if we're there for like even like a week and then actually get back to Earth, would be a accomplishment of the ages. Like that, it'd be 1,000 times bigger than the Apollo landings. It's on the horizon, but like it's just we're at the baby steps. Baby steps. I think if you go with the Expanse, I think we're about 250 years away or something from actually making an actual colony there. So
That makes sense.
cool topic though.
Yeah, that was fun. I
Fun
enjoyed
topic. Really fun topic. What should we do next? We going to load up the randomatron?
Load up the randomatron. Let's plug in a friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend. Well,
we gotta wait and see what it decides.
We'll
don't we?
let the randomatron
Braden, you don't decide the randomatron
what the
is.
randomatron will be.
Oh, I thought we could pick a genre and then it would just scan.
No.
I have not plugged that in yet.
Outside of shop.
But we only have about
Just go
Wait,
random.
what?
Genre.
There's a 33% chance it will be a mongoose. A
33 to
33%.
80%.
It'll be a small chance. It'll be a
Listen.
fan submission, and a small chance it will be a case file of the week. Load it up. Here we go. Well, would you look at this? Odds are in our favor.
Fucking rips.
Mongoose. Shout out to Colberry and crew for
Nobody-
whipping that baby up.
Man, Colberry just shreds. Like
Guy's a fucking-
He's a musical genius.
He shreds.
He shreds hard, and he sings well.
He doesn't have like actual band though. What's going on?
Yeah, well, his band's kind of. He's very dedicated. His band sometimes not so much.
What's his band called?
Good question.
I've never seen him play live or anything.
They had a band member that was kind of
Little cunty.
a little. No, I wouldn't say cunty. He's a beauty. He was just. I don't think he was really up for performing. So
Just loved writing music.
Yeah,
That's
just
fair
liked
too.
playing it. But
That's fair.
yeah, I don't know, but they fucking rip. They really do. They make really good music. My buddy B's in the band too. He's a fucking huge beauty. Same with Kyle Moore. That guy fucking. He's wicked too.
Shout out to all those guys.
They're all beauties.
play
I
a
love them all.
play a show in Kelowna. We'll come up.
Yeah, do it. Come on, Curtis. You can do it.
You can do it.
I appreciate it. It'd be awesome. Okay. Anyways,
Friend of a friend.
obviously, you know this. This didn't happen to me.
Nope.
It never happens to me.
Never.
It happens to a
Didn't
friend.
even happen to your friend.
No.
Didn't even happen to your friend.
No.
No. Friend.
No. It
of
happened
a friend.
To, it happened to his friend. So you know what I mean. So a friend of a friend,
Friend of a friend.
and they happen to be mine.
Good friends.
Yeah. So call comes in. Long drawn out story. Listen. Hey, here it is. Dispatch calls and says, "Hey, listen. A little bit of a weird situation. You go into a house, elderly people's house. The wife, who is the caretaker for the person that you're going to see, had a stroke yesterday. Okay, and she got taken to the hospital.
Shit.
So, you know what I mean? The husband has been left at the house. The husband has severe cognitive decline, dementia, and he's been left at the house by himself. He's been in the house by himself for a day, and so now the family lives in California. They've called and they said, "We need somebody to go check on the house. We need to go make sure that he's doing okay." Right? Because he can't care for himself. So, okay, no big deal. That's easy. I can do a house call. No big deal. Right? Go to the house. Bang on the door. No answer. But the lights are on. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Bang on the door. Nothing. Try to open the door. You know what? It's locked. Go to dispatch. Hey, guys. You know what I mean? We can't gain entry. You might want to start at the fire department. We might need to breach the door. I'm going to go check for a window. See if we can get in. Little known fact. Obviously, it's not me, but this friend of a friend of mine is a lot like me and is kind of Spider-Man-esque and can climb into fucking very hard to get places. So this person found a window, climbed a fence, popped a
Little
screen.
humble brag.
Yes.
There's no humble brag about
I'm
it.
sure he was extremely graceful.
He's very graceful. It's like Spider-Man.
Fucking goddamn cat.
Exactly.
Mountain cat.
So finds a window, climbs over the fence, climbs the window, pops it,
Legend.
cleans, just slides the fucking window
Puts his claws in.
and rolls in. Unfortunately, not so gracefully. Hits the ground hard. Boom. You know what I mean? And it's kind of knocks the wind out of him a little bit. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then he looks up and there's this large elderly Indian man wearing nothing but tighty whities with his nutsack hanging out of his fucking pant or his underwear.
How long of a nutsack we talking
Long.
here?
I mean, this guy's 80 years old. So long ass
He's
nuts. Like,
drooping
fucking
real low.
Oh yeah. Do they wobble to and throw? That's what I'm talking, right? You can throw him over his shoulder like a continental soldier,
Can you tie him in a bow?
pretty much. So, anyways, he looks up
Stupid.
and there's this half-naked elderly Indian man with a giant beard and a long nutsack looking at him. And in his hands is a fucking broom handle.
Interesting.
And my friend starts getting beat repetitively with a fucking broom handle. And he's sitting there being like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, we're here to help. Like, paramedics, it's okay. It's okay. And this guy is just fucking pelting him with a fucking broom handle. So I grab the broom handle, rip it out of his fucking hands. And I'm like, it's okay. You're safe. And this old man just fucking takes off Mach 10, just running down the hallway in his house, runs into a bedroom and slams the door. And I'm like, oh shit. You know, we're in Surrey. He's in Surrey. It's an elderly man. And I'm trying to talk to him, and he's got this really thick Indian accent. And I'm like, listen, sir, we're here. It's paramedics. You're safe. And all you can hear coming from the door, you're going to fuck, buddy. You're not going to do it. You're not going to fuck today, buddy. I'm like, no, sir, like everything's okay. Don't worry. We're here to fucking help you. Not to fucking day, buddy. And so I sit there and I go to dispatch. I'm like, hey, I'm inside. We made contact. He's locked himself in his room. Like, can you please send somebody? I'm like, I don't want to kick this door down. It's not going to be good. He looks well, whatever. And as I'm talking to dispatch, the fucking door comes flying open. And this elderly man steps out with a fucking giant sword. Like, I'm talking like giant fucking sword. And
Like, what's bigger than a katana?
Are we talking about claymores, Zweihander?
I'm talking about a scimitar.
Cutlass?
No, I'm talking about a scimitar.
A falchion?
A
A falchion?
A falchion.
A fucking scimitar, whatever those are. Long ass curved sword. And like, I'm talking, this guy's 80 years old. You would not have known it. He looked like that guy on fucking Indiana Jones, just fucking tossing that thing around.
Did you shoot him?
Oh, I wish. I shit my pants and just ran, hit a light switch.
Natural defense mechanism of the mongoose, shitting yourself.
Fucking right. Well, it didn't happen to the mongoose. The mongoose wasn't there.
No,
It
the
happened
mongoose
to
wasn't there.
Mongoose' friend.
Mongoose' friend.
So the mongoose' friend
He's a fucking ferret.
Friend.
He's a shitty ferret is what he is.
Well, he's more like a meerkat, I'd say.
Meerkat.
A relative of the mongoose.
Okay.
Runs to the fucking, a fellow marsupial.
Okay.
Runs to the fucking light, shuts off the light, hides behind a couch. And this old man is fucking stalking this house. Luckily, it was large. Swords dragging on the ground, shitting his pants. And all I can fucking do is just sit there and picture, like, you know in Jurassic Park where the fucking velociraptors are in the kitchen and they're hiding behind the fucking counter and there's this, holy fuck, thank God. Yeah, exactly. Thank God somebody starts banging on the fucking door. So my friend gets a little brave and runs up and grabs the fucking hand that the sword's in and starts trying to pull the sword from this surprisingly strong 80-year-old. We hit the ground. He gets the sword. Away. Door gets kicked down. It's the police. As the police walk in, I'm on the ground in full mount by this fucking 80-year-old man just getting fucking ground and pounded. Like, just these fucking muffins just pelting my face. And there's nothing you can do. Like, what do you do? How do you defend yourself against an 80-year-old man?
Yeah, you can't beat up an old man.
No, you can't. But how do you look fucking tough on the ground while an old man has you in ground and pound, just punching your face while fucking 6 cops walk in? And you're just like, hey, man, like, yeah, I know his nutsack's on my fucking chest. No big deal. It's fine. And that's today's file.
So what was the resolution of the story?
We ended up having to fucking
cops-
sedate him.
Cops
For
came in.
fucking nuts.
Cops came in, grabbed them, you sedated them, took them out.
Pretty much. Well, it's tough.
What was
'cause
wrong with him in the end?
He's dementia.
Okay.
He's dementia, and he has no caretaker anymore, right? Like, a lot of people, especially in those cultures, like to keep them at home and take care of them.
Right.
Right? They don't like putting their family in homes, which is actually pretty cool. But
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah,
It's,
I agree.
It's awesome. It's the way it
as
should
long
be
as there's
done.
a caretaker. at
Well,
home.
yeah,
Someone
and the
at home.
caretaker actually fell ill. So, but yeah,
That's the way she goes.
yeah, it was interesting.
It's just a 14-inch nutsack
Oh,
flapping
man.
your friend in the chest
Way too
as he
much
ground and
nutsack.
pounds you with 80-year-old fragile muffin fists.
But on the bright side, nobody got stabbed, so that's good.
No one got suplexed through drywall.
No, the broom handle was not pleasant.
You didn't
at
see
all.
your friend didn't see anyone die inside another man.
No, that fucking way worse.
Or
Didn't have
anything
to
like-
cut anybody out of a latex suit.
Hey, friend of a friend. You know,
Interesting.
respect
life.
those paramedics. They have a hard job. It's a job that nobody wants.
No.
But someone's got to do it.
All right, so you got a theorite of the week?
Theorite of the week this week is going out to a longtime supporter of the show. Always active on our live streams. Always calling us out on what she calls our bullshit. We may not always agree on all topics, political, everything. But in today's age, you don't have to agree on everything. It's okay to disagree. But she's a longtime fan. Britt Weidman, the theorite of the week. Thank you for supporting the show for so long and putting up with our bullshit, really.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We really do. Like,
It's a lot of bullshit.
it's a lot of bullshit. It's
a lot.
Just because we don't believe every topic, and 75% of the pod is not American, and we can make fun of American politics. That is our right as Canadians to make fun of American politics because it's, from up here, it's fun.
I mean,
Literally anybody can make fun of American politics.
Like it's not just in the Trump era. It's in all eras. It's just always fun. It's always one versus the other. There's always only a two-party thing. Like it's fun to watch from above. And I get in the political climate in the States is a little toxic and a little shitty, but you know what? From up here, we can poke fun of it. Dan maybe cannot.
Sorry.
But we
Oh, I can make fun of it. I just don't.
yeah, he can, but he does not. Because he's American and he's part of the whole thing. Up here, like whatever.
Yeah. I'm too close.
Anything else at the end here?
Yeah, let's read a few. Got a couple new Patreons this week. Tim Rushing, Justice, and Kathleen. This is something you can do. You can team up with your friend. We will not get mad at you if you want. If you're like, oh, we only want to pay $250 each.
Could you imagine? Way to go, Justice. Fuck you, Kathleen. You freeloader.
Freeloader. The second name read Freeloader.
Oh no, it's all good, guys.
You know what's funny is it was Justice and Kathleen, like Justice spelled normally, and then the next person is just Justus. Just us. Steve Will. DJ Sosacom? Maybe DJ. I don't know. Look him up on SoundCloud. Who knows? Adam. Bryce. Brandon. Moses.
Brandon.
Alana Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Alana Pelowi. Malin Erlin. Yeetith Feetith.
Buddy, it just sounds like you're making noises with your mouth.
I'm reading off the list.
Making noises.
These people now.
I believe, yeah, like 80% of our listeners just think you make up names. Like, when you go through,
Dude,
this.
I think what's happened now is people just make up the hard names to try and let us read. Malin Erlin, Yeetith Feetith. I already said that. Freedu. I'm telling you, I'm reading the real names here. We got an easy one. Will. Thanks, Will.
Thanks,
Okay.
And that's it. I think that's it from last week. If we missed you, let us know, and we'll put you on the next week's list. I'm not making them up. They're fucking on the list. I'm telling you. Well, some names you have.
Meredith
Some names.
Gershenstein.
Jurgen.
Jurgen the Virgin.
Yeah.
Jurgen
All right.
Jurgenberg.
What else we got this week?
Oh shit. That's
I got it. I'm back on the bands. If you have an original band, any genre, I'm not picky. I'm just trying to help out fellow musicians to get heard, because in today's age with, 450,000 songs added to Spotify per day, it's pretty much impossible to get heard. So this band's out of Australia. It's called This Time Only. The song I'm going to play is called Marco Ave. So if you like, it's got a little punk vibe to it, you like a little punk rock, stick around till the end of the show, and I'm going to play this song and get flagged by YouTube every time. But I've never got a strike. We just get flagged because we're using but I have all the rights, so I'm ready to dispute if needed.
Nice.
I believe
The only other thing I wanted to say is
all I had.
It was really cool for Amazon Prime Video, The Expanse, to reach out to us. We're big fans of the show, so they could have worked with a lot of podcasts, and they contacted us. So give them some love. The show's awesome. I can't believe the Sci-Fi Network canceled it.
I know, it's crazy.
Dads.
Amazon Prime Video, The Expanse season 4 streaming now, and maybe we can use this as an in to cameo on season 5.
Write us in as characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first
Chuck and Lance Kincaid.
The first Martian podcasters. That'll be us.
Yeah.
We'll probably get killed in some type of tragic space.
Yeah.
Space.
I'm just
event.
saying, we're available.
We're
Two of us
available.
are already on IMDb, right? So
Wait, are you on IMDb as well?
No, it's you and
just
you,
okay.
Zella and
I see.
Andrew.
Oh yeah. I'm a sound tech on a local indie film, but I'm on IMDb. But I'm not paying extra $50 a year to get my picture on there.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking talent.
Andrew's getting messages for fucking
Movie of the week.
movie of the week.
I had to Google what MOW meant, and it's movie of the week.
Hey, better than nothing, brother.
Hey, sure, why not?
I believe
anything
that's
else
it.
before we sign up?
I believe that is it.
All right. So again, guys, check out The Expanse Season 4 on Amazon Prime Video. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Hell yeah.
So you're down by Marco Avenue. I wonder who it was you knew. We were way too drunk back then, me and all of my friends. But I can't say that I care, even if that's unfair. Let me just get one thing clear. No matter what we say, there's no coming back from it. Looking back on the time when we met, I think it's best if we just forget. Was it all the time that I spent away from you with the band, away from you with the band? But I can't say that I care, even if that's unfair. Let me just get one thing clear. No matter what we say, there's no coming back from it. So you're down by Marco Avenue. It had a few. You were down, and I'm not around. And I can't say I blame you. No, I can't say I blame you. But I can't say that I care, even if that's unfair. Let me just get one thing clear. No matter what we say, there's no coming back from it. So you're down by Marco Avenue, and you'd had a few. You were down, and I'm not around. And I can't say I blame you. No, I can't say I blame you.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today. That's not just the sound of that first sip of Morning Joe. It's the sound of someone shopping for a car on Carvana from the comfort of home.
That's a good blend.
It's time to take it easy, like answering some easy questions to get pre-qualified for a car in minutes.
Talk about starting the morning right.
Just like customizing your terms so your car fits your budget. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to experience car shopping the way it should be. Convenient, comfortable. Ah.